Hey guys, welcome. Welcome aboard if you're brand new. Welcome back if you are not. And welcome home if that sits right for you. Today we want to talk about what's up in astrology and energy for the week of the 8th through the 14th of July, 2024. As always, let's get right after it. This Monday begins with Venus in Cancer sextiling Uranus in Taurus, and then Mercury in Leo sextiling Jupiter in Gemini. The Leo moon will quincunx Saturn, square Mars, and trine Chiron. So on Monday, a shift in the clear expression of how you sense home, right? Please remember that when we're talking about home, we're talking about this in the Venus sense. And that means what home smells like, looks like, tastes like, sounds like, feels like for you. Always self-reflexive, right? So that shift in that expression of your sense of home can lead to a new amplification, right? And what I mean by that is in the way that you choose to express that. So go with your heart on this. It absolutely knows what it is that you need in order to fulfill your experience. And that is your experience of home, right? So the awareness can be challenged later in the day. Doubts about the how, right? Doubts about whether you're up to the task or the action that is required on that. Remember that you're writing a new story, though, and just keep reminding yourself that you've got this, right? Because you do. You absolutely do. On Tuesday, the 9th, the Leo moon squares Uranus, quincunxes Saturn in retrograde, and then the moon moves into Virgo. That Virgo moon quincunxes Pluto. Also, the South Node trines Jupiter and sextiles Saturn. Okay, so focus on your getting stuff done today, right? Your goal is to create the sustainability to manifest your felt ideals. Again, referring back to that sense of home, right? And so we're talking about sustainability. Right now, it may be better to focus on what you are visioning, okay? There's a ton of support for that inner landscape connectivity. So plan, right? Trust. And remember that planning and trust are absolutely action steps as well. On Wednesday the 10th, that Virgo moon is going to square Jupiter early in the morning. The Cancer sun will trine Saturn. The Virgo moon will oppose Saturn. And then the moon sextiles the sun. So it's time on Wednesday to begin some rudimentary implementation, right, of what it is that you've been focusing on envisioning. Not on any grand scale just yet, but you want to start making those very small personal shifts toward the who it is that you will be in order to exist within the visions that you're creating, right? So you as your utopian self is what you want to really be creating steps for. And then what you're doing is really just setting about becoming your own best version, okay? So on Thursday, the 11th of July, that Virgo moon is going to quincunx Chiron, trine Mars, and then Venus in Cancer trines Neptune, and then Venus marches her way into Leo, right? Beautiful. We love that. Then the Virgo moon is going to trine Uranus and oppose, Neptune. And then the sun moves into, the moon moves into Libra, in the evening. And then that Libra moon is going to sextile Venus and trine Pluto. There is also a loose grand trine today, right? With that Virgo moon with Mars and Taurus both in Mars and Uranus, sorry, both in Taurus, and then a loose trine with Pluto. So remember, also, Saturn is trining the Sun, and Venus is trining Neptune. It's a big day, right? Draw your visions super wide, right? All these visions we've been working on all week, make them very wide, and especially on Thursday, begin to include yourself, absolutely fully embodied, as the creator, right? As the focus point, right? So remember that your visions are absolutely you-centric, and everything in them is your everything in them is your projection and your reflection. So how you experience that depends on where you are in relation to. So if you're able, make time for some deep reflection, right? Meditation, whatever that means to you, whatever that looks like, whatever it feels like for you. Even if it's only like 5 minutes, right? Just focus on those feelings that you want to feel in that utopian vision. And then create them within that parameter of new experience. Anchor that feeling vision with a color or with a fragrance or something like that that will allow you to refer back to it in every moment of the now, so that you can get back to this point of self-inception, right? This is deep creative work, so make sure that you are approaching it with a very deep sense of reverence and appreciation for the way it unfolds in your experience. On Friday, the 12th, excuse me, Venus in Leo opposes Pluto, and the Libra moon will trine Jupiter. So this is a balance point, right, in relationships today. It's very highlighted. So some, let's call it deep and perhaps previously uncharted truths about things that relate to love, finances, romance, beauty, might come to the surface. Use all of your skills to create a very open, honest conversation around this matter. Remember, we're talking about relationships too. So don't let your fear drag you along. Instead, lead with your heart and lead with compassion. On Saturday, the 13th of July, that Libra moon is going to sextile Mercury, quincunx Saturn, square the Sun, and oppose Chiron. So you might find that you're not ready to, let's say, make amends, like, bury the hatchet on whatever it is that was surfacing on Friday. The fact of the matter is that that's okay. Just know that that's all right, and that it also might be a really great idea if you keep that information to yourself and let it flow through you, right? What you're talking about is fully processing that, fully working through it on your terms before you bring it into the light, before you share it, before you offer it to the person with whom you're in relationship. On Sunday, the 14th, that Libra moon is going to quincunx Mars and Uranus and Neptune. And then the moon moves into Scorpio. Always exciting. That Scorpio moon is then going to square Pluto and Venus. So on Sunday, make sure that you're working on your self-management, right? As you continue to integrate maybe even another round of those deep self-revelations, right? Remember that most often one revelation leads to another, to another, to another, to another. So it is absolutely to be expected that this week of allowing, those to come forth will absolutely manifest over the weekend, right? So just let that be. We'll do that. Anyway, remember that the new information absolutely has a right to be treated appropriately. So before you run your mouth, before you feel the need to share, stop and breathe and process it inwardly first, right? Absolutely inwardly first. It's better than throwing it out there now and catching consequences for something that you didn't process fully. Yeah, so just stay with the working through your own awareness on Sunday. It may prove to be healthier in the long run, right? All right, let's talk. On Monday, we have the Six of Pentacles, the Two of Cups. So this is about reciprocity. Both of these cards are about this divinely inspired kind of give and take. Six of Pentacles allows you to be in the space of, I know that I have enough to share because I will always be provided for. The Two of Cups is all about divine reciprocity, right? This is about those blessed states of union where you know that what you're giving, you are also receiving. The way that you are seeing another is the way in which you're being seen, right? So all of those levels of witnessing and communication are always equally reciprocated. Okay. So we talked about this as that day where you're looking for that clear expression of home, right? And how it's going to amplify and fulfill your experience. Well, here's the deal. If you know that what you're giving is going to be met with what you require, and you know that what you're giving is going to be met by that other in a relationship, understanding that the way that you're going to create it as a new story, right, fully reciprocal relationships, is something that you can absolutely set into motion. How do you do that? By making sure that you're giving it to yourself, because that is the way that you're going to entrain to your divine sense of worth, right? And the more that you give and receive with yourself, the more you prioritize yourself as worthy, the louder your vibration will be that you are worthy, right? And then you'll magnetize those people who amplify that vibration. So that's a nice way to begin the week. On Tuesday, you have the 10 and the Page of Swords. So this is a day of ideas, right? And remember that we talked about this as a day where we want to focus on sustainability, right? We want to focus on how we're going to manifest anything that is in our highest. That requires that we let go of anything that's not and pick up what absolutely is. This is also a day where we're going to focus on visioning, right? And so the way that we're going to focus on visioning is to focus on the highest vision. And as that moon moves into Virgo on the morning of Tuesday, remind yourself that we're going to stay in our highest. We're going to plan and we're going to trust for that absolutely highest and best inner landscape. And that requires leaving behind all concepts that are self-doubting, self-deprecating, anything that's not holding you in this highest esteem right here, right? So pay attention to that on Tuesday. On Wednesday, you have the King of Swords and the Seven of Cups, right? We're talking about small-scale implementation of your visions, remembering that everything is on the table and you know exactly how to put it into motion. Making those personal shifts to become, right, to claim space as in at least idea, right? To claim space at least in idea that you are the person in your visions. And guess what? You absolutely are. You are that person. Becoming your own best version, right? This is critical. And how you choose to do that is to witness that you have nothing but infinite choice. On Thursday, right? You have the Knight of Wands and the King of Pentacles. So this is about the way that you move toward that super grounded, fully resourced, absolutely deserving nature in the tangible and in the intangible. We talked about this as drawing on your visions and making them wide as possible, right? Wide as possible in this Knight of Wands energy. Absolutely, including yourself fully, right? Knight of Wands, you are the action. King of Pentacles, you are the receiver. So this harkens back to these revelations that you've had all week. And the thing is, again, we're going to take this time to connect with what is inspired, what is inspiring in you. And we're going to focus on the feeling, right? Knight of Wands is all about the felt sense, right? What is inspiring? What is juicy? The reason you put your feet on the floor in the morning, what gets you out of bed and sets you into motion. And we're really taking this as the point of self-inception here, and really taking stock of how we're doing that work, how we're grounding it, how we're rooting it in solid bedrock of this new story that we're telling, right? Again, anchoring it in something that you can carry with you, a color that can remind you, a fragrance, a song, a note, a tune, a mantra, anything like that. You're going to encapsulate this new sense of self. I am worthy because, right? Just because I am. You don't need a because, just because you are. Absolutely. On Friday, you have the Hanged Man and the Three of Pentacles. Absolutely lovely. So we're talking about a balance point in relationship today, right? Three of Pentacles is all about collaboration. Hanged Man is all about how can I find a new perspective, right? How can I look at something in a different way? We talked about this as that day where we may be experiencing some previously uncharted truths, right? This particular version of the Hanged Man is so beautiful for that because look, he's under the water. He's experiencing things in a different element, right? Absolutely. So using all your skills to create an open and honest dialogue that will allow you to step in to your heart, right? As opposed to being dragged by your fear, knowing that you're going to be met, right? Again, we're talking about how we're being met this week quite often, and it's all about the way that we're showing up. On Saturday, you have Judgment and the Five of Pentacles. So this really asks you, what is it that you're carrying right now? We talked about this as a day that you might not be absolutely ready to make amends. You might not be ready to deal with what came up. Look at this particular Judgment shows an open door with things that have come to the forefront. Five of Pentacles is all about the way that we choose to believe that we are not fully resourced. Well, I mean, you can choose to believe that if you'd like, absolutely. But it's always going to be a great idea on Saturday if you can just allow what comes through to be processed by you before you lead with this energy here. This is an energy of scarcity. It's an energy of happening to you. It is an energy of being left out or not having what you think you should have. So allow what is going on. Allow the things that are coming through this door to process without action, right? If you can just show up and be present with what's coming in instead of attaching a story to it or attaching a value judgment to it, whether that's about yourself or something else in the world, just be present in and witness what's coming as opposed to taking an action on it today. And on Sunday, you have the Magician and the Devil. What a fabulous pair, right? Choosing to work on that self-management and really witnessing ourselves as integrating again, right? Stopping, breathing, inwardly processing. Here's the beauty. You can choose to be attached to your old story, to the attachment about the story, right? Oh, this has come to light and this is how I must feel about it because this is how I've always felt. Or you can witness yourself as this creator and choose to level up your perception, your expectation, your experience of what it is that's going on. You know, I've said before, I will say again, you can believe that you are a sovereign creator of your own reality, right? or you can believe that there are forces and people out to get you. But you cannot believe both of those stories at once. So you get to choose, right? You get to choose between your stories. As always, choose wisely, right? This, our update on this is 8 billion ways, because I made this a long time ago when there were only 7.5 billion people. So the thing is, you can never do it wrong, right? There's never a moment where what you're doing is wrong, and I'm air quoting that, wrong or incorrect or less than. You're always correct in your motion, because it can be no other way. You're either winning or you're learning. Right? You're winning or you're learning by the choice of your perspective here, by the choice of the way you show up to what comes through the door, by the way that you understand you have brought this to you, right? To you for awareness, for experience, for education, right? So let's see. This card is absolutely beautiful, right? An 8 in our 8 year. Into me I see, right? So this is about intimacy, I'm going to guess. Let's find out. Okay. Key concepts. Yeah, intimacy, trust in another, dropping shields and rigid boundaries to allow connection, the willingness to be vulnerable, right? The willingness to admit that you might not know the story, to let yourself be informed by something higher, right? Or by your awareness that there is more. All right. At certain precious moments, you're called into a deep and meaningful connection with the world or another person. A magical affinity arises with the kind of intimacy that in turn encourages a greater understanding of yourself, right? The relationship acts as a mirror, helping you see your own patterns. What it reflects about you can further your own personal evolution, right? We talked about this, that your experience is a reflection or a projection of you, right? Now is the time to take a risk by connecting with another. Can you see how far you've come? Can you see what is still active within you that needs to change or heal? You will discover more about who you are as you discover more about another. Even if you cannot possibly know what it's truly like to be in someone else's shoes, you can listen and learn. This is a magical gift being offered to you right now. This concept applies beyond romantic connection. What do the dynamics in your closest friendships, work relationships, and family say about you? Relationships are an extraordinary opportunity for healing. When predicated on honesty and caring, they have a great impact on how you contribute to the world. Intimate relationships hold up a mirror of truth and reveal more treasures than you might ever expect. If you can look into it, take a risk, and see everything as beautiful, even in the imperfections, imagine how deep you could go, right? So as we're telling this story, this week in particular, take the time to stop and witness the way you're showing up, right, in every relationship that you have, including the one with yourself. And remember, there's no wrong way to do it. You always have a learning opportunity. Absolutely you do. You always have a learning opportunity. And as you become that best version of yourself, you get to choose how you want to show up, not just with yourself, but with everyone around you. Right? And think about how that informs not only your consciousness, but the consciousness of the relationships that you're in and the consciousness of the people with whom you're in relationship, right? And how might that ripple out? How might that ripple out? And what might happen as a result of you choosing your highest and best, you choosing that divinely reciprocated energy, you choosing to be vulnerable and open and to follow what you know to be true, right? As someone who is a powerful creator, right? Oh, guys, I like it. Take care and be blessed. I'll see you soon.